All right, welcome on in to the Detroit Lions News Podcast. I'm your host, Joe Chapin. If you have any comments on the situation, you can comment in the comment section. I'll read your comments below. We could start talking Lions football, but look, I'm not gonna. I never make excuses that the refs lost the game. I don't make excuses saying, "Oh, that's the reason that the Detroit Lions lost," because if we're gonna be honest, there were several opportunities for the Detroit Lions to win the game, and I think I'm gonna have. Hold up, let me get my boy Tyler on the call. All right, let me. All right, so I'm not mad at the whole situation. I'm not mad at it. The reality of the situation was the Detroit Lions had a chance to win, but they just didn't. And we can look at everything we want to look at. Hold, let me send Tyler is gonna come on the call. Man, okay. Um, so I want to get your comments. I want to get your comments. If you got any comments, let me know below, and we'll go through. Let me. Tyler wants to come on, so let me do this real quick. But if you aren't aware, this is what happened in Dallas. Now there's Taylor Decker. He's reporting. Shit. Sorry guys, I'm gonna get Tyler. Tyler, my co-host is gonna be on the call too. So we're gonna kind of. I didn't know he was still up, so I want to get this done. But God, you know what? Where? All right, cool. All right. So if you see this, this is the play we're talking about. Taylor Decker is reporting. You can see Brad Allen's looking at him, and Dan Skipper's on run on the field. Now, in no such order, do they do do they call that a call? Now Tyler's gonna come on, but um, it's maddening to me. This whole situation was maddening to me, to be honest. I can't even I can't even. There's nothing that people could say. There's nothing that people could say. Now Tyler is on the call. Okay, let's get Tyler. That had been going on for 7 years. Whoa. All right, Tyler.
Yo.
Yo, what's up? All right, so everyone, this is my co-host Tyler on the podcast. We are we're doing a
Little late night special, huh?
I know this is great. 76 viewers right now. Obviously, everyone's fired up about it, but we'll get your comments about it in a minute. But I just want to read you what Dan Skipper said. The Dan Skipper said in the locker room, I did not say a word to the official. This is from Caitlin Kaler. She's an NFL reporter for the Athletic. She said Brad Allen's crew has been haunting NFL teams this season. One team source texted me earlier saying that this season about getting assigned this crew for an upcoming game. I'm sick. Look, you could say whatever you guys want. I know there's going to be there's a lot of comments right now, so we'll get to you. But the fact of the matter is this: if Brad Allen's allowed to ref another effing football game this season, the NFL should be there should be serious consequences because this is not the first time he's messed up. The Kansas City game where Kansas City and Green Bay played, that was also his crew. There's been 3 separate instances where Brad Allen's crew has been the subject of things that have gone on in the game, missed calls. This is just ridiculous.
Yeah, man. That was really tough. I mean, obviously, there's a lot to break down in the game and how the game went itself, but whenever a game's decided specifically by a bad call or a no call or a bad call in general, it ruins kind of the integrity of the entire game, and it sucks because I don't think you want to win on that either necessarily. I mean,
No,
a win's a win, but I always say, like, dude, like, I want to beat a team where I know that they're like people can't blame the bullshit on the refs. It's so it does suck. Obviously, there's been video of Taylor Decker walking over to the official and him blatantly just either ignoring him or pretending not to hear him or whatever the deal was. And the thing is these guys aren't held accountable. You know what? No one's going to lose their job. No one's going to get fined, and you're not going to get the win. So you're just allowed to blatantly screw with the game. Like, if you're so sorry about it, because I'll guarantee we'll get an apology later this week. And if you're so damn sorry about it, then give us a freaking win and give the Cowboys a loss if you're so sorry about it. But that's not going to happen.
No,
There
and
needs to be
here's
some accountability.
here's the thing. And here's the thing. If you're talking about if so, here's the thing. This is one of the things I wanted to bring up. If you're going to talk about the Lions and how this impacts the Lions, now this doesn't really impact the Lions if we're being straight with it. I mean, it does impact them for maybe potential 2 seed or 1 seed, but it doesn't. What this impacts is the NFL seeding in the playoffs. Now, this is where the crux of the matter is. It doesn't matter that he missed this call. The fact of the matter is he blatantly missed this call. The call came in 20 seconds after. Not only is it playing with the potential fact of playoff ramifications, it's first of all, we have NFL players on Twitter right now just going ham about it. Like Mitchell Schwartz. This is from Mitchell Schwartz. Now, if you don't know who Mitchell Schwartz is, he's an offensive tackle he was for the Kansas City Chiefs. Now he's retired. But he says it seems like the refs messed up. I'm going to be very curious to hear what the opposition sounds like. It sounds like Skipper said I didn't say effing word. So if Decker reported secretly and they assumed it was Skipper because they were both tall, I don't get it. They just showed it what it looks like, and the refs might mess up. He talked to Decker, and Skipper runs it, who never gets the ref to report. So I think Decker was the one reporting, but the ref is seeing Skipper running in, announces it Skipper. If so, woof. And Brad Allen spoke and he said that he reported 70 as eligible. Now, if you go back on this is a Jordan Stack tweet. You see where Dan Skipper is? Dan Skipper he's covered. He can't come in. He says this arrow is where Skipper is lined up. Why would he come in and report as eligible? In what world does this make sense? Brad Allen shouldn't be allowed to officiate another NFL game. This is insane to me. That's the point. That is literally the point.
Right. You can't. What are you going to? You can't be eligible as a right guard.
Go back to it. He's not even. He can't even. He's not even eligible as a receiver. So how could you call?
He's a guard at that point.
He's a guard because Sewell's on the outside of him. It just doesn't make any sense to me. It really don't.
No, Dan Skipper was super fired up about that. His eyes were red as hell. He was screaming, cussing. He was upset about it, which rightfully so, man. I mean, that was a really cool play. I was going crazy. It was honestly a fantastic play call by Ben Johnson. And, I wish after that, because it was such a big deal and the momentum shifted at that time, I wish we would have kicked it and just played it out. But you know what? I get being aggressive.
I respect them going for the win because at that point, like Dan Campbell said in the post game, he said, "Look, I wanted to go for the win. You know,
right.
Screw it."
And I get it.
And I get where he's trying to say, but here's the point of the matter. I don't care what your point. A lot of people have points of how this game should have went in terms of the way things should have happened. But the fact of the matter is they can't miss this call. Like, I don't care. This is Brad Allen's. Brad Allen has missed call after call after call, and it has not came back. Now, if the NFL is actually worried about their reputation, they would do something about this, because the fact of the matter is this: I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're a fan of anybody. There's no team on planet Earth that should lose the way the Detroit Lions lost tonight. No way, because it's such a simple concept. Like, if there's look, and then John Perry, the guy who is on ESPN's broadcast, he's carrying the water for the refs. He's like, well, maybe he just made a mistake. You think, John Perry? You think he made a mistake? He literally is just he's making excuses for this guy.
Listen, I'll tell you what. If Troy Aikman and Joe Buck say that it's bullshit, and they literally they polish the Cowboys every chance they get, because that's Troy's homies. If they're even saying it's messed up, man, it's messed up.
And I'm not gonna sit here at all and say anything that it wasn't wrong or something along that access. I don't even know where to start.
Things like this to me don't say, like, especially the way it happened in the video that came out after. It doesn't say, oh, we made a mistake, bad call. This was done on purpose. This was blatant. Somebody's got the Cowboys money line. Something weird is going on, because that is just too obvious, and that was just complete bullshit. Jerry Jones made a phone call, got into his pocketbook, and made something happen, because there's no way that you, as an NFL official, just ignore somebody that says they're eligible. And then if you're inaccurately reporting someone as eligible as the wrong guy, That is your damn problem. That is not a penalty on the offense.
Yep. Now here's what the pool reporter got from it. He said that the question was, now it's not, it's kind of, but he said, but basically it's not on the thing, so I'll have to put that on the thing. But basically what he's saying is he said that he didn't make the mistake, that he was basically calling Decker and Skipper liars, basically. And the fact of the matter is this, like, we have screen grabs. Look, he's talking to Decker right there. Skipper's running. How do you talk to a guy that's that far away with what is AT&T Stadium hold, like, what, close over
100,000
over 100,000? So that's and then Jared Goff, this is Dan Campbell. He says 2 people can't report. I don't want to talk about it. I explained everything pregame to a T. And that's the thing that gets me pissed off the most, Tyler, because the fact of the matter is this: we know Dan Campbell. If Dan Campbell screwed up, he's a man enough to admit it. He'll admit it every single time. It doesn't matter if he...
Well, especially coming from a former tight end, he knows all about that.
But he would never, if he, like, there's been points where he has screwed up something, he's like, that's on me. He's always taken the high road. If Dan Campbell is saying, look, I explained everything pregame, he was pissed. Like, if Dan Campbell didn't want to talk about it, that obviously means that if he would have talked about it, he would have got fined. And I think there's a comment in here from Jared Goff. Yeah, this is here right here. I'm pretty confused, but what do I know? And I don't know if I'll get fined for this, but I do know that Decker reported, and I do know that Dan Skipper did not. And I do know that they said that Dan Skipper did. Look, this is the whole folly of the issue. The fact of the matter is that Taylor Decker reported, Jared Goff said that, Dan Skipper said, I didn't say an effing word to the, and like, it's just, it's a total mess because.
Well, and plus they were saying on the broadcast too, like, do you think an 8-year veteran and Taylor Decker, like, would make a silly mistake like that, like in a clutch crunch time to play, you know what I mean? Where you're getting the ball, like, come on.
I mean, if you got guys like let's just say, like, if you got guys like Skip Bayless saying that the Detroit Lions got hosed, I mean, like, what are we talking about right there? Like, right. If Skip Bayless, who is
the biggest Cowboys fan in the world,
he is a noted Dallas Cowboy homer. If he's saying that it was Detroit got hosed, they got hosed. And I want to say this just for certain, because this is the reality of the situation. It's not about the Lions. This is not about the Lions, in my opinion. Now, I know I have a stake in it because I have a Lions podcast. Me and Tyler have a Lions podcast. But here's the thing. If I'm an Eagles fan, I'm pissed off as hell. If I'm a 49ers fan, there's not a good shot that Dallas overtakes them. But if I'm a San Francisco 49er fan, an Eagle fan, anybody in the NFC that could be in the playoffs, this is a total joke. This is a total joke. Because it's not about the Lions. Okay, this game with the Lions, yes, the Detroit Lions had a chance to get to the number 1 seed. They had a chance to get to the number 2 seed. Absolutely.
Well, you're talking about...
They had like a 5% chance to get the 1 seed, okay? So we're talking about the playoff implications that could happen off this game alone.
Well, and you're talking about from, like, you basically silver plattered the freaking Cowboys a home field advantage to the playoffs if they're able to, win this last week, and beat Philadelphia ahead for that 2 seed, because then at that point, you're gonna get, no matter what, you're basically, getting at least 2, if you win, obviously, but you're getting, back-to-back home playoff games. And of course the NFL wants to promote and wants to push Dallas ahead because it's, America's team, blah, 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 bullshit. But it just seems so obvious to me that this game was given to Dallas. And I hate when it's like stuff like this, because it just makes the crew and Brad Allen's crew just look slimy and fishy as hell. And I don't know, man. Like I said, they need to start holding some people accountable for shit like this, because, you have such bad calls like this, and it puts a shit stain mark on the NFL. It puts a bad name on their reputation. Everyone's looking at Vegas funny and FanDuel and DraftKings and this and that and the other, and it's just like, I don't know, man. You can't make it so obvious if you're really trying to screw someone like that. That was just, bullshit.
It's funny because there
I
was
mean,
a
you already
couple.
gave one away when we had Jack Campbell getting held to shit on that 90.
Well, what about the Amon-Ra St. Brown? Now look, now here's another thing that I think neither one of us has mentioned yet, Tyler. The NFL, I mean, Dallas Cowboys coming into this game were the most penalized team in the NFL. They got 3 flags tonight. Okay,
Right.
They didn't just learn discipline. Okay, they didn't just learn discipline. This was a total joke. The pass interference to Amon-Ra St. Brown. You're telling now Jordan Lewis is going on Twitter saying that he didn't pass interference to him, but I got a screen grab of him literally grabbing Amon-Ra St. Brown on the comeback route, and he's saying that he ran into him. I'm like, go screw yourself, Jordan Lewis. Like, just shut up. Go worry about your foot not falling off. Like, it's just this whole Dallas Cowboys stuff. It happens every time, and they are always the like benefactor of a horrible call. The one time they weren't, they bitched about it for years with the Dez didn't catch it when he really didn't catch it. I mean, he doesn't catch anything except domestic abuse things. Like, it's just a reality. Like, this is so stupid. Like, the fact that, like, I don't want to be having this kind of conversation about this game. I don't want to have that conversation.
They couldn't spoil Jimmy Johnson's Ring of Honor at home in Dallas on a primetime nighttime game. They couldn't spoil it. They couldn't let it. They had to give it to him.
And the fact of the matter is, it came 20 seconds after. Now, if you would have huddled up like you did against when the Lions got that call, I don't know if you remember that, Tyler, but when the Lions got that call with the picked up flag, right? They huddled up and they picked up the flag. Why didn't they pick up the flag this time? I mean, it was so clear and obvious of what happened. Like, it just doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, this was given. This was a game that was given right to them, and I mean, it sucks because you don't want people to constantly complain about the refs or complain about this and that. But when it's so bad and so blatantly obvious, like, dude, you have to talk about it.
No, and I don't like talking about the refs for a period of reasons. Number one, they don't lose a game. Most of the time, they don't lose the game. They don't lose the game. But on this factor alone, like, it's such a critical call in the game. Like, when people say that the refs don't win or lose games, it's a joke, because there are certain calls in a game where you don't have the opportunity to there's no chance of a mistake that's not going to haunt them. You know, like that missed pass interference call against Kansas City Chiefs, garbage, total garbage. Like, that cost the Kansas City Chiefs, rightfully so, the game. And it was Brad Allen's crew. This guy, this freaking clown. It was his game. So I mean, this just goes to show you this is exactly what we're talking about. Like, I don't want to talk about refs. I don't. The fact of the matter is, though, they screwed this one up. They did. And if people want to come and argue with me, I know there's some dope in this comment section. He always comments on his stupid page. And it's Andy Vault. He's always laughing like an idiot. He's a stupid idiot. Now get out of here. You're a dumbass. Now, like, there's so many people that are just commenting. Like like this one. Remember, the Chiefs left tackle lineman illegally all game against the Lions. No call whatsoever. Then this guy brings up. Then the Broncos do it once and lost points. It's just something new. So here's the one. Let me get this comment off. Hold up. So this was in the beginning of December, that Kansas City game. This officiating crew was the Kansas City Chiefs, and the Green Bay Packers missed a similar call 1 week earlier in Atlanta on a play that can't harken back to one of the most controversial calls in NFL history. Now, if we go on to this is the pool reporters. Now, the question was, there was a player that went to you just before, if it was Decker, and he was talking to you. 2 linemen talking to you, and then you went to the Cowboys defense, speak to them. What was the conversation about? Conversation is where number 70 reports to me. Now, if we've seen this grab, does it look like 70 is having conversation with them? Or does it look like Decker and Sewell are having conversations with them? Make it make sense. Make it make sense.
Well, and I think that, like, and that was part of the surprise. Like, everyone assumed that, like if Sewell was going to report, then everyone assumed it was going to go to him if it was a trick play, because he's usually the one that does it. it was a great scheme. It was a great play having Decker do it. A guy that doesn't leak out and catch passes at all very often, and maybe he has 2 career receptions.
He's looking straight at Decker.
Yeah, you can't lie and say you didn't hear him or this or that. He's looking him dead in the fucking eyes, man.
I don't care what anybody says. Like, the fact of the matter is this. Number one, the fact was that they missed a key call that should have been made. That's number one. Number two is they had the opportunity to rectify the call and say, look, we messed up. We're picking up the flag. Did they do that? Absolutely not. And it just goes to show you that that this reffing crew should not be allowed to ref any more NFL games. And God forbid you give them a game in the playoffs, because they have shown the ability to screw up games not just once, not just twice, but 3 separate times. They are not in one season. Now, there's a lot of good NFL refs in this league. I mean, let's be honest. There are some really good refs that make some really good calls, and there's some that are ticky-tacky, but they try to keep grips on the game. But the fact of the matter is this, guys. Brad Allen should not be allowed, and this crew should not be allowed to ref any game for the rest of the season. If I was the NFL, I would tell him, you're out. You're not coming back in. This was an absolute disaster on a prime time game where most of the nation was watching. I mean, I had people that are not even football fans that were watching this game that are not even Lions fans. They were going, what the hell was that? And I looked at them multiple times. I said, I don't know. This is just uncanny to me.
Yeah, it's man. Like I said, we have to just what I mean. Depending on the seeding, I would love to be able to meet them in the playoffs, man, and get some revenge.
I said it on my Facebook page. My personal Facebook page, I said I want nothing more than Dallas in the playoffs, and this is why. And if you heard Dan Campbell he's speaking to TJ Lang on 97.1 The Ticket, he literally said, "Yeah, we're gonna see these guys again. I can't wait." That basically this. I hope this lights a fire under this team's ass so bad that they just go out there and start smoking people. Like, screw it, be the bad boys. Be the bad boys. Yeah. Who literally gives a flying shit about these guys? Because the fact of the matter is this: the refs don't care about you. They've shown that they've shown that multiple times. It's like we went to Dallas, a team that was averaging 40 points at home, and held them to 20 points. I take a lot of pride in that. My point about this though is, like I said before, this is not about the Lions. I've maintained the same stance over and over again. This is not about the Lions. This is about the fact of the matter of playoff seeding, playoff implications, and the way that things could happen in the NFC, which it could cost people in the playoffs. And it's not just the Lions. It could cost the Eagles. It could cost. Well, the Cowboys would be the benefactor of that. But there's so many things that could happen in an NFL season. This is something that, if God forbid the Cowboys get the second seed, we're gonna look at this game and go, "What the hell happened, dude? What the hell happened?" And I'm with one of the comments. He goes, "We cannot accept an apology statement. Brad Holmes and Sheila have to go and demand repercussions for the same way, even though it's not likely." I hope when they get an apology from the league, because they're gonna get an apology from the league. I guarantee you, they're gonna get an apology from the league, and I hope Dan Campbell, Brad Holmes, and Sheila send back a middle finger right back to them. I hope they send a big middle finger right to the fucking league saying, look, you guys are freaking idiots. The fact of the matter is this: it doesn't matter that you screwed the Lions over, but the fact of the matter is you basically just made the whole league look like stupid, because there's people that were watching this game tonight and they're like, what was that? I was watching people that are not even football fans that were going, wow, Detroit got screwed. It's not just a Detroit thing. Even you had Skip Bayless saying they got screwed. You have people from Pro Football Focus. You have people from Andrew Whitworth, Ryan Clark on ESPN saying it. Troy Aikman, guys.
I guarantee you'll hear it on Pat McAfee show tomorrow too.
Oh, Pat McAfee was even going like he tagged the NFL officiating in the thing. Like it's just like, come on, man. Like there's nothing. If I was Sheila, if I was Brett Holmes, I would cover their fines. If you want to say something about the officiating, Van Pelt was over it. Yeah, Roy says it right there. Van Pelt was over it. I mean, there were so many people that were over it that it's just stupid. No, there's no excuses. It's I've explained this before, Aunt Avery. I've explained this before. It's not an excuse. It's not an excuse. The fact of the matter
if there's a listen. If there's a bad play, then I wouldn't be sitting here bitching because look, we made a penalty. It was stupid. It was undisciplined. This was not a penalty. This was literally a game that was given to the Cowboys because we did what we were supposed to do. We did not commit any penalty, not even a little bit.
Thing. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this for the 70th time since I've been on this live stream. This is not about the Lions. This is about the playoff ramifications aside from the Lions. Imagine being an Eagles fan, saying, watching this game, and let's say the Eagles drop a game to the Giants, right? They lose a game, they drop a game to the Giants, and they lose the division. I think that's what could happen because the NFC East is still up for grabs. So let's say that happens. You don't think Eagles fans are going to look at this game and go, bro, that was total bullshit? Yeah. See, this is not about the Lions. This is not about the Lions. It is not about the Lions. It is about the integrity of the league. It's about playoff seeding. It's about the whole NFC going, what the hell is going on?
We just watched an officiating crew give a team a win.
Basically.
And that's sad.
And it's not, we're not going to sit here and say that, oh, this is the reason they lost, because there was a lot of reasons that Detroit lost today's game. But if we're going to look back at one, if we're going to look at
88 of them.
Oh. CeeDee Lamb had a hell of a day, and he cooked Cam Sutton all over. But
oh my god, right?
I just don't understand. I just don't understand that. Like, okay, we came in this game. Dallas Cowboys were the most penalized team in the league. They got 3 penalties. I mean, we've seen that in the final drive. Amon-Ra St. Brown, that was a DPI all day long. Like, if you're to call Vildor for that illegal hands, the whatever,
illegal contact,
then you better call that too, because this is not just me saying stuff into the camera. I'm not saying that. This is not for views. This is none of that. The fact of the matter is this: the Lions had plenty of opportunities to win this game, but the fact of the matter is they came up with a great play call. They got
it mattered.
They got the right play. They made the right play. And what happened?
The don't get rewarded for it.
The refs came with a bad call, and you know, people were talking about how Josh Reynolds was on the line. He wasn't on the line. You know, it was obvious that Taylor Decker was the one that was reporting. So I don't sit here and make these excuses. I don't. I've never made excuses for this team.
Yeah, it's, you know, hopefully, like you said, hopefully this can be used as fuel. And you know, we go into the playoffs pissed off.
Yeah, and if I'm the Lions, like I'm first of all, if I'm Sheila, I say to the people, I'm covering your fines. Speak all you want about them. I'm covering your fines.
I know we'll probably discuss some of this game on the next pod and everything, but man, I mean, there was some really good things about this game. There were definitely some really bad things about this game, but you know, hey, I mean, let's, you know, we got to try to freaking get a dub next week just to kind of, you know, give ourselves. I mean, we already clinched the 3 seed, so you know, we may get a chance to see some guys that we don't normally see, because I imagine we'll definitely be sitting some guys.
See, here's the thing. This is another one. This is why I'm so pissed, because they made the whole NFL look like a casino, and I'm pretty sure if I'm, let's say I'm John Lynch of the 49ers, right? I got to be saying to myself, okay, that wasn't right. If I'm Howie Roseman of the Eagles, I got to be pissed because the team that's in my division got handed away.
That dude is super right, because you know what? That because they made a bunch of money on that. Dude, I had $250 on the Lions money line tonight. Would have paid out $750 because they were plus 200, and Vegas was banking on the fact that the Cowboys were scoring 40 points per game at home and have never lost. And when they saw that they were about to lose their ass, because I think a huge surge of money came into the Lions when the last 2 hours of the game. That's why the line moved. And then all of a sudden, boom, they blow
I'm
it.
not going to buy into the theory. What I'm going to buy into is that the NFL looks like really
Dude,
bad.
If you don't think that freaking Vegas has a fucking stronghold on some shit in the league, man, then watch a little closer.
It's amazing to me how this shouldn't even be a conversation, in my opinion. Like the fact that they made these stupid call. Like it's just so stupid.
Well, and that's why that comment even makes more sense, is because when it happens like that, it does look deliberate. It looks like you're trying to save Vegas's ass. It looks deliberate. You literally gave the other team a win. For what reason? Is there other shit going on that we don't know about? You made the NFL look like shit. You made them look shady. You literally just saved Vegas's ass. Like you're ruining the game. And like I said, for the people that are saying this and that is rigged and this and that the other, this does not help your cause. If you're saying that the NFL is not rigged and there's not set things in place and they don't make people win, whether it's for money or whatever, this doesn't help your case when you have a blatant call like this that you just give away the damn game.
All right, I want to put you to something right now. So this is on my Twitter. This is let me put the full screen. So this is Golden Tate, and he's saying that Jerry Jones picked up the phone, made that same call back he made back in 2015, and when they picked up that PI flag. And if you're if you're going to be honest with yourself, right there, like that's just the way it goes. And I think that if you're like looking at it from a pragmatic standpoint, the fact of the matter is this has happened multiple times with the Detroit Lions and with the Dallas Cowboys, and this shouldn't be just glossed over.
Yeah. Well,
yeah. So I mean, that's what it is.
Well, I appreciate you inviting me on, man. I'm thinking I'm gonna hop off and head to bed.
All right, I'm gonna kind of go for another couple minutes, but then I'm gonna hop off.
Yeah, you're good, dude. But I appreciate it, man. Fucking tough L, man.
See you, Tyler.
We'll see you on the next pod, brother.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I when I seen you were still up, I was like, all right, I'll send him a link. I got it. I didn't know he was up.
That's cool, man. I'll see you next pod, brother.
All right, I'll see you next pod. Tyler, that's Tyler of the podcast. He's gonna be out too. But here's the thing about it. Like, we can go back and look at this, and Tyler, we're gonna talk about this probably on the next podcast. But just it's a blatant missed call that.
Yeah, I'm excited for the next one, man, and we'll dive into a little bit of this game, a little bit more detail wise about the other things that weren't the call, about the actual game itself, and then what we gotta do the rest of the season into the playoffs. So I'm super pumped. So, all right, guys, I'll catch you later, man.
All right, see you, Tyler.
Thanks, bro.
All right, that was Tyler of the podcast. And look, guys, like I'm gonna say it again, and I've said it before, and if people that are just joining are gonna say it, look, Decker it was Decker and Sewell that were there. Skipper's running the field. He's looking straight at Decker. Here's another thing. That arrow is where Skipper's lined up. He's lined up at guard. There's no way that he's an eligible receiver. There's no way. That just doesn't happen. That just doesn't happen. Decker is over here. Reynolds is over here. Reynolds is off the line of scrimmage. He is not. He's eligible. Decker is eligible right there. And I look at Mitchell Schwartz, a former offensive tackle, and I see his standpoint about saying that Skipper was eligible. I see Jared Goff saying he's pretty confused. What do I know? And if I do know, I'll get fined. But I do know that Decker reported, and I do know that Dan Skipper did not. And I do know that they said that Dan Skipper did. And then you go back to, this is Warren Sharp. He's an NFL guy. He says the evidence isn't a crime was committed, a Lions win was stolen, the rest are pure trash. And he's right. But this is where I looked. This is an NFL athletic reporter. She said referee Brad Allen's crew has been haunting NFL teams this season. One team source texted me earlier this season about getting assigned this crew in an upcoming game, saying I'm sick. So look, it's not just that the fact of the matter, it's not that this crew has been making mistakes. It's that this crew has been making monumental mistakes. And when we look at the whole NFL landscape, okay, just look at it from this point, okay? If you're the Eagles, are you happy about tonight's loss by the Lions? No, because this was your NFC East division title hanging in the balance. If you're Howie Roseman, if you're Lurie, who's the owner of the Eagles, you have to be pissed. If you're an Eagles player, you have to be pissed because there's no wiggle room for you now. And if I'm the 49ers, I'd be simply pissed as well. Because the fact of the matter is this, it's not about the Lions. This has nothing to do with the Lions. I think a lot of people are going to see this on the Lions page and they're going to go, what are you talking about, dude? You're just covering for your own team. Now, here's the thing. I don't cover for my own team. When they're wrong, they're wrong. And there was plenty of opportunities for the Lions to get the W tonight. But the fact of the matter is this. They made the right play call. They made the right play call at the right time. They got the right play call. 20 seconds later, a flag comes in. And if we see what we saw in this tweet, the fact of the matter is this. Skipper is not even eligible from this tweet. This screen grab. This was the same effing play. He's not eligible. He's not eligible. He's a guard. Where on earth is he eligible? He's not. So the fact of the matter is this. You can sit here all day long, and there could be people in the comments saying that I'm just covering for the team. I've never once covered from the team. I've never once said things that I don't really care about because I don't care about. I don't carry no one's water. The Lions are wrong, they're wrong. But the fact of the matter is this. This is an NFL league issue because this didn't just happen to the Detroit Lions. This happened to the Philadelphia Eagles tonight, too. This happened to NFC playoff seeding happen tonight. And this happened to the Kansas City Chiefs with the same reffing crew against the Green Bay Packers. And this happened again. They had a missed call 1 week earlier in Atlanta on a play that was harking back to one of the most controversial calls in NFL history. This is par for the course. And if the NFL doesn't step in to make an impact on Brad Allen's crew and say, you are not reffing for the rest of the year, you need to go. Because the fact of the matter is no one can trust him. No one can trust him. I'm going to go again. Green Bay Packers, Kansas City game, the Atlanta game. This reffing crew has done multiple things that could cost teams in the season. And the fact that when you get to week 17, week 18, these are the most crucial weeks of the year for the NFL because teams are fighting for playoff seeding. Teams are fighting for playoff division titles. This isn't just a Lions thing. This is also an Eagles thing. This is also a 49ers thing. This is not just a Lions thing. So for people to say that, all the Lions fans are crying. No, they're not. This has happened over and over and over again. And not once did the NFL rectify this. Not once. All right, let's go to the comments. We got 19 comments, so let's go. Roy says this is Tim Donahue in the NBA. All right. So this is what I was saying. This affects the top-ranked teams across the board. You mean fighting for a spot? Exactly. I mean, if you're a team that, you know what, whoever this is, please leave your name in the comments. I know but we can't see. It says Facebook user, doesn't say your name. But whoever said this is right. Because the fact of the matter is this, guys. If you are the Vikings, or you are the Saints, or you are someone that are fighting for the playoff spot, and the Detroit Lions have no reason to fight next week, they could rest players. Oh, it's Ryan. It's Ryan. Oh, my guy Ryan. It's my guy Ryan. So let's go. This affects top-ranked teams across boards. Here's where it affects. Okay. If you're a team that's fighting for a playoff spot, let's say it's the Bears. If you're a Chicago Bears fan, you should be pissed because this would give opportunity for the Lions to go to play Minnesota and play their full complement of players if the number 1 seed's on the line or the number 2 seed's on the line. You don't think that the Detroit Lions next week are going to rest most of their players? I guarantee you they are. I guarantee you. And Sam Wade says this is a big issue, especially with this crew all year long. It's been a thing. Here's the thing. Like I said, I don't like the way that this game was handled. The fact of the matter is this. This is a huge issue for the NFL. And if I'm Goodell, I have to send out some stuff to Schefter or Schrager or forgetting the guy at Fox Sports. He's the best one, and I'm forgetting his freaking name. Not Florio, because Florio is a total dope anyways. But it's just crazy how in the NFL, you can get away with making these bad calls and not getting repercussions for it. It just doesn't make any sense. And this isn't just a Lions issue. Before anybody comes out here and says, "Oh, you're a Lions fan, so of course you're another coddle for the team." No, the fact of the matter is this does affect a lot of other teams. Coming from a fan who was at the game, Brendan Cook was at the game. He says both Decker and Skipper talked to the ref after the ref ran off. Decker double-checked the ref, turned around, and then kept running. Also, before the flag was even thrown, when Dallas took the timeout during the first attempt, he was seen writing something in his notepad, and then again directly after the flag was announced, the Lions were 100% robbed. Both tackles talked to the ref. Decker even double-checked. I saw it live and in person. So that was Brendan Cook. He was at the game. He's saying what a lot of people have said. I was talking to someone who was on the field. I'm not going to give him names because he can get in trouble for saying it because he is part of the media and he is close to the team. But here's a reality. He texted me. He said that Taylor Decker double checked. So what Brendan Cook is saying is 100% true. 100% true. It defies logic. This whole thing is just it's not. This should not happen. This was a great game regardless of who you root for. Cowboys, Lions. If you're not a Cowboys or Lions fan, this is still a great game to watch down to the wire. And for it to be decided on a call like that is just totally bullshit. Now, let's go to more comments. It's crazy how they keep always allowing blown calls, especially Brad Allen. He's been a horrible ref for years. As for Fernando. And then, you have guys, Brad Allen saying Brad Allen for MVP. I'm not going to be able to sleep tonight from Roy. And then he says, especially this Sam Wade, I think we hit this, but Sam Wade said this has been a big issue, especially with this crew all year long. This is a league thing, and that's exactly what I'm hitting at. It's a league thing. With NFL film crews and sideline videographers, the NFL should call for an investigation to check on all recording devices. Someone has to pick up the conversation on a live mic to show that the ref got it wrong and lied. That would be amazing. But here's why I don't see that happening, because I don't see the NFL pretty much throwing the ref out to the woods for that. I don't. But we'd be surprised. They stepped in by putting this crew on Game of the Week. That's a problem. I mean, that Brad Allen's had issues this whole year, and the fact of the matter is this: you put him on prime time on a Saturday night game, the Monday night special edition game. This is a guy who's had multiple calls that have been lambasted at every point. It just doesn't make sense. This is going to be a topic all week in sports. I agree. And then, in this apology, why? And so if the Cowboys get home field advantage with the same reps, look, this is just. Even Allen says it. I mean, Aikman and Buck even said there was no reason for Decker to be over there if he wasn't reporting. It's simple. It's purely simple that was it. Like, it's just the way it goes. Let's see. Even this is from Brandon Cook. He was at the game. If you recall the last comments, we were talking about this, but he says, "Man, even Cowboys and my fans were shocked by what he said. He was talking to the refs. They looked at me and they said, riot." It's incredible. Troy says, the officially true to be reprimanded, suspended because of long 16 seconds to throw a flag. I agree with it. After it was done, it was done. I'm pissed about it, but after the penalty, Dan has to take the field goal. I understand that, but I also understand what Dan Campbell said in the post game to TJ Lang. He said that he was going to go win the game regardless. And look, I respect the hell out of that. I do. So I'm not going to really fault it. Without question, DC blew it. A lot of people are talking about they could have kicked the field goal after it. And then Brian Ty says, honestly, he blew it call on purpose. Him walking away from Decker let me know everything. He didn't even care to confirm. They should actually credit the Lions with the win. And then since it was a scoring play, isn't that called reviewable? I don't think they're going to review a penalty on that play. But look, there's so many people who have comments on this situation. The fact of the matter is this: like I said multiple times throughout this whole thing, this is not just a Lions issue. This is not just a Lions issue. You know, Ryan said it best. If you're a playoff team at the bottom of the league, and let's say the Lions beating the Vikings gets you in next week, you don't think you're pissed? Because the Lions don't have nothing to play for next week. If you're the Eagles and you still have to fight for your division title when it could have practically been won with a Dallas loss and a win tomorrow, wouldn't you be pissed? See, this isn't just a Lions loss. This is basically the NFL getting their character impugned. And if you're an NFC fan that's in a playoff race, if you're the Eagles, you have to be super pissed. I wouldn't say Dacey blew it. I get where he's coming from when respect to the dude for keeping his word, but after that flag, you kick it, man. I agree with that 100%. Christopher says Skipper was 20 yards away. There's no way he was able to report it. That's what I was saying. You know, if we go back to this, look at this. Look at it. Decker is talking to the ref. Sewell is talking to the ref. Skipper is a long ways away. They're not having conversations about where they're going for New Year's Eve. Now let's go to the next one. I gotta get rid of this comment because this shows this. So Dan Skipper is the one with the arrow. Dan Skipper is the one with the arrow. Okay. Penei Sewell is on the outside. So Taylor. So it says in this tweet says the arrow is where Skipper was lined up. Why would he come in eligible as in what's? He came in eligible and he's a guard. He's a guard. In this play, he's a guard. You can see the Taylor Decker right there at the bottom of the screen. He's on the line of scrimmage. Josh Reynolds is off the line of scrimmage. Right there. That should show you everything you need to know. Like, it doesn't get any more clear than that. Like, this is not just a issue of not reporting. You know, it's not just an issue of them making the wrong call. The fact of the matter is, it wasn't even close, guys. It wasn't even close. The arrow is where Dan Skipper is. Taylor Decker is on the line of scrimmage. Josh Reynolds off the line of scrimmage. You could obviously see in this bottom pair right here that Taylor Decker was the one that was eligible. You could see it right there. So the fact of the matter is this: I'm not going to sit here and I don't ever coddle for the team. I'm not going to say that the Lions lost because of reffing, but you could see this clear and day. You should see this clear and day. I mean, I see Skip Bayless talking about how the Lions got hosed. You know, I see people that are not even NFL fans on Twitter talk about how the Lions got rigged. I know they're not Lions fans. I know they're not NFL fans. They don't watch football. And they're even saying the Lions got rigged. This is a total travesty because, look, like it says right there, why would he come in and report as eligible? That was where he lined up. He lined up at guard. It just doesn't make sense. Let's go to the comments. There's more comments coming in. Let's go. Robert Williams said the NFL set up with Cowboys to win. Jimmy Johnson getting into the Ring of Honor. Troy Aikman calling the game and all the Cowboys alumni in the building. That's another thing. I never seen a broadcast ever in my life cover the Ring of Honor. They didn't cover the Ring of Honor when Lomas Brown got into the Lions Ring of Honor. They didn't get the Ring of Honor when Troy Polamalu got put in the Ring of Honor for the Steelers. And the Steelers are one of the best organizations in football. But they covered Jimmy Johnson for what? For what? They didn't do it when I was in Tampa. That's what I'm saying. This whole thing. They didn't even do it with Terrell Suggs. Terrell Suggs was an amazing player for the Baltimore Ravens. They didn't do it for him. It's just so stupid. That's what I just said. No T Suggs Ring of Honor ceremony. I would have loved to watch that because I don't know about you, but one of my favorite players of all time was that linebacker unit for the Baltimore Ravens. Ray Lewis, T Suggs. Like, oh my god, man, that was amazing. Dylan T Sizzle, dude, I'm telling you right now, Terrell Suggs was just so good. Like the fact that, man, watching him, I grew up in a unique era because I don't know if you guys, but I grew up in a unique era because I grew up in that 2000 to 2010 range. So I got to see all the great quarterbacks like Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Ben Roethlisberger, Aaron Rodgers, even though I hated his guts. But you got to see linebackers like Urlacher, Ray Lewis. You'll never see guys like that again. I'm convinced of that. You'll never see linebackers like that again. You'll not, especially Ray Lewis. Ray Lewis was a savage, and T Sizzle was he was so great as a player. Grady brings up a great point too. They didn't do it for Barry. Yeah, they didn't do it for Barry. I mean, this just goes to show you, like, what are we doing? Let's see. Here's another one. Aaron Wagner. He can't be up on the line if he is eligible. Hello. He has to be half step back covered up 6'8", so they can call legal formation or illegal touch and learn the rules. Ref called 70 eligible. He didn't line up right. Aaron, you don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what you're talking about. Because on this play right here, I'm gonna go through it again, so you can be explained to this. Okay, I know you're a little bit slow. I know you're having trouble comprehending this, but here's the reality: the arrow is where Skipper is. He is a guard. He's a guard in this formation. Okay, he is a guard. He cannot be eligible anyways. Taylor Decker is at the bottom of the screen. You can see Josh Reynolds is off the line of scrimmage. Like, I don't know where you're coming from, Aaron. I don't know what planet you live on. I don't know if you're high or drunk or whatever the case may be. But you're wrong. You're totally wrong. You're totally wrong. So go take your comment and shove it because you're not right. The whole point is that Dak reported eligible so that it wasn't an illegal formation. That claim is doubling down the rest on the bad call. Yes. The whole point is that Dak reported eligible, so it wasn't illegal formation. That claim is he's exactly right. And I know Roy is laughing about my soliloquy on Mr. Aaron's comment, which we will put up again. Where is this guy? Aaron Wagoneer. He cannot be on the line if he is eligible. We just showed you. He also has to be a half step back, yet he is covered up. He was not covered up. Reynolds was off the line of scrimmage. So they call legal formation or legal touching, learn the rules. I learned the rules, and I just explained it to you. So I hope you got that. Yeah, so that's exactly. Dan Campbell said he met with the refs before the game and explained these plays to them in vast detail. See, that's what I get. So I know that, look, everything we know about Dan Campbell, okay? If Dan Campbell was wrong, don't you think he would admit it? I mean, there's been multiple times that he's came out and said, I messed it up, I'm stupid, I'm a dumbass, or whatever the case may be. Dan Campbell's came out and said that. This time around, Dan Campbell says he stressed this to the refs before the game, which that's what you do before a game. You tell them, look, we're going to run this. We might run this play. Be ready for it. That's what happens. If Dan Campbell messed this up, he would just say it. Well, let's just be clear and honest with it. If Dan Campbell will literally say when he's wrong. And he's been the most honest coach out there. I mean, just listen to him. I mean, he doesn't make excuses for the team ever. He didn't even make excuses tonight. But the fact of the matter is this. We know Dan Campbell. I've been covering him since he's been here. I've been covering, Caldwell, the stupid Patricia era. And I can say without a doubt that Dan Campbell is the most honest coach out of all Lions coaches I've ever covered on this page. So that's it. Gary brings up a good one. I went to school having Chris Spielin's mom as an in-school suspension teacher. Many talks about the Lions. See, that would be interesting because I spent a lot of time in school suspension. So that would be great. That I would love to do that. Avery says, cry now, laugh later. Well, look, I'm not gonna cry. I just think it's a joke for this whole NFL. I think it's a joke for the NFC. I think if I'm an Eagles fan, I would be even more pissed. Matter of fact, I talked to one of my friends who's an Eagles fan, and he is absolutely more pissed off than I am. And I wanted to have him on the podcast right now, but he's a couple beers deep, and I think a couple of jack shots deep, and having him on the pod would just not be good. Jason Dubes says he's never seen Dan so pissed. That's the thing. I've never seen Dan like that. You know, if Dan Campbell, if what we've known about him, he doesn't make excuses about refs. He doesn't do all that. You know, he's always saying that, you know, all the stuff, all the right things. And the fact of the matter is, he was pretty pissed. Jared Bailey, lifelong Lions fan from Idaho. Oh, the home of the potatoes. Let's go. I love potatoes. I've been riding with them since I saw Barry Sanders as a kid from Idaho with no home team in the 8s. So to see what the talent how could you root for anyone? Lions fans for life. You know what? Good on you, Jared. Good on you. And he's backing my claim up. You know, you don't want to get Eagles fans when they're boozed up. You know, because Eagles fans are different. Philly fans are different in a long stretch. They're probably the most unique people you'll meet, especially if they're Eagles, Phillies, Flyer fan. They're and 76ers fan. They're all kinds of messed up. So you kind of don't want to you don't want to catch them on that night where they're kind of boozed up. Not even at all. Campbell is down to the letter on these plays. It's scheme with us, and getting the field goal would have tied it, but Dallas had 23 seconds left. The officials would have let Dallas in a field goal range anyway. All laundry they were throwing. You know, a lot of people are talking about kick the field goal. They kicked the extra point, and I understand what they're saying. But if you see what CeeDee Lamb was doing to the Detroit Lions the whole game, he would have said, there's no way I'm letting them get the ball. I'm going to go for the win. We're going to protect the win, and we're going to get the win. That's what I would have done. I would have done the same thing. Because the fact of the matter is this: if you kick a field goal, if you kick the extra point, it's 2020. So they can go win the game with a field goal, and they have a great field goal kicker in Brandon Aubrey. But if you put a little bit of pressure on Dak Prescott to lead the team down the field, maybe something happens within that time frame where he kind of makes a mistake, and then you win the game anyways. That's why I kind of look at it differently. I don't look at the field goal as something that, you know, that they had to do, the extra point. I don't look at it like that. I look at it like, okay, the fact of the matter is this: CeeDee Lamb was lambasting Cam Sutton, so there was no point to just let them go down the field and kick a field goal to win, especially when we know Brandon Aubrey hasn't missed a kick all year long. So maybe if you get that 2-point conversion, it puts the pressure on Dak Prescott to make the right throws, and that's where he can get into problems. Let's see. We got more comments. We always get screwed over in Dallas when we were on the verge of winning a playoff game. That's a lot of people are saying that. It's so stupid. Grady says number 3 seed is better than we've done. Is better than what we've done in the Super Bowl area. Let's appreciate that, and let's move on to the seed chickens or Maddie, which I think he means many. But look, Dan may not do some things right and make mistakes, but the one thing Dan Campbell has is integrity. I agree with that 100%. Like I said, Roy, if he kicks the PAT, they can go out on the field and get a field goal anyways. I think going for 2, going for the win, protecting the win is the most crucial one. We know that the Cowboys have a great kicker in Brandon Aubrey, and I think that if you put the pressure on Dak Prescott, I think that kind of was probably Dan Campbell's thinking. I would have thought the same way. So, and going back to Grady's comment, Seattle or Minnesota coming in, not scared of either one of them, to be honest. I know the Seahawks have had the Lions number, but I think the Lions are a totally different team. And them holding the Dallas Cowboys to 20 points in Dallas, where they average 40 points a game, is all uber impressive. Even though CeeDee Lamb had the game of his life, they couldn't run the ball for nothing. Tony Pollard was basically non-existent. So that's impressive to see. Man, you know what? Someone made the joke on Twitter that Cam Sutton was getting grilled like Kansas City barbecue, and I agreed with that 100%. Cam Sutton was getting torched all game by Lamb. It was just ridiculous to see. Oh, Grady met Matty as in Stafford. Oh, yeah, the Rams coming in. I think the NFL would love that. They would love that. When now I agree with the 2-point conversion. We saw Caldwell in error playing not to lose, and it didn't work out for us. I'll take Big Balls Campbell over that any day. And Brandon Cook, if you missed this, Brandon was at the game. So he has knowledge of what was happening. And he even said that Cowboy fans were like, what the fuck? He said Skipper came out and he said he never said a word to the ref. I don't know how truthful it is because I personally saw him run over the ref. With that being said, maybe he didn't say anything. So my previous statement about both being tackles to the ref could be 50-50. I should say both tackles went to the ref, but I would say Decker double checked with the ref. And if we go back to what I was saying, we were talking about, as you can see, this is where the arrow is. That's where Skipper's lined up. He's lined up as a guard. Taylor Decker is lined up he's lined up eligible. Josh Reynolds is off the line of scrimmage. So it kind of proves your point, Brandon, about how that Decker double checked with the refs. Let's go to more. This was Dan Skipper. He said in the locker room, I did not say a word to the official. We went back on this. This was a NFL reporter saying that she talked to an NFL source, and they said they were sick about Brandon Allen getting their games. We talked about Mitchell Schwartz talking about this. So, this is an offensive tackle who has reported multiple times. I think he would know. Andrew Whitworth was another one of those guys. And then Jared Goff, personally confused. He said he was confused. What do I know? But I do know that Decker reported, and I do know that Dan Skipper did not. And I do know that they said that Dan Skipper did. And it kind of backs up Brendan's claim about how Decker double checked with the refs. So, look, this is going to be a topic of conversation for a while. Sucks to lose this game, the way that they lost it, but I think this is just a total garbage game. And the fact of the matter is, the Lions played a great game. They had a great play call to win the game, and you could hear it on TV that number 70 reported. Like I said, there's no way he reported. If we go back to this one, the Decker number 70 is a guard, so a guard can't report as eligible under any circumstances. So that's where I kind of don't understand where they said that Skipper reported as eligible. I don't get that at all. We got 86 viewers, so if you guys want to comment, I'll take this 10 more minutes. If you got any comments, we'll read them, which we are getting. This has been a great live feed. I love what you do. Respect from Grable, Wyoming. Oh man, Wyoming in the house. It's like Yellowstone, right? Do you have one of those hats that they have in Yellowstone? And do you drive? Do you have a horse? That's what I really want to know. So get back in the comments and tell me if you got a horse, because that's amazing. I love Wyoming. That's I want to visit Wyoming so bad, to be honest. I just feel like it's a great state to go. I feel like that Montana, Wyoming, I feel like it's all Yellowstone area, and I feel like it's just a great place to be. So beautiful. Anyways, Roy says, "I know that you, but you could hear it." I again, I don't understand where they're coming from with the Skipper being eligible, because he's not even eligible. To be honest, like if we're talking about it realistically, like I've showed you the screen grab multiple times. Unfortunately, it doesn't matter. Offense lined up wrong would have been an eligible man downfield or illegal touching. No, it wouldn't have. No, it wouldn't have. Because if Decker was the player that was reported eligible, it's not an illegal man downfield or illegal touching. Period. End of story. Oh, dude, see, this is great. Grady says, "I'm a college rodeo calf roping champion in 1993." See, this is why I like Wyoming the most. Like, think about it. This guy is a legitimate, like, he's a legitimate champion. Like rodeo, like that. Oh man, this guy is awesome. I love it. Love it. We need you on 97 on the ticket, bro, for real, because your show is awesome. I appreciate that. And you know what? Hopefully, maybe one day. But it's just funny to me. It's funny to me because the Rieger is on right now, and I said one ticket. And the fact of the matter is like he's saying that the line should have kicked it. I think when you miss, I think you're missing the point of why you kick it and why you don't kick it. Kara says, yes, they announced the wrong number. Period. I've been saying for the last hour. There's no way that they reported Skipper eligible. He was a guard. That's number one. Number two, a guard can't report as eligible. I mean, if you're an NFL ref, you should know that. I have to imagine. Go back to the way he was lined up. He was covered up. No, I'm going to go back to the way he was lined up. We got it right here. I'm going to take your comment down for a moment. Here's the thing. Josh Reynolds is off the line of scrimmage right here. I want to get a close up of this, but I think I'd mess it up. Let me go see Jordan's stack. I think that's who it is. Who is it? Jordan Strack. Let me see. I'm gonna share this. I'm gonna share this screen grab right here. That way you can get a better look at it. Jordan. Let me see. Jordan Strack. I want to be honest with you. Like I just want to be honest with you. Like I'm not gonna sit here and act like it's totally different. Let me go. All right, so this is I'm gonna put my screen grab here. If it loads, why is it not loading? All right, let me present it. All right, share screen. All right. So here you go. I think this is showing on the thing. Let me take this down for a minute. I'm producing my own show and everything. Let's go. So here's you got Josh Reynolds. He's lined off the line of scrimmage. There's Taylor Decker. He's on the line of scrimmage. So Josh Reynolds is off the line of scrimmage. So it's right here. This screen grab right here shows Josh Reynolds off the line of scrimmage and which makes Decker an eligible wide receiver for this play. Right there. Decker, there's Skipper right there with the arrow. You can see that he's covered up. So Sewell's covered up. He's ineligible. The only person that's eligible on this screen is Decker. If you're an NFL ref, you should know that. You should absolutely know that. It just doesn't make any sense to me. So again, that is the issue right there. If you can see that right there, again, I'm going to point it out. Decker is eligible. Sewell is not eligible. He's covered up because St. Brown's on the line of scrimmage. But you can see that Josh Reynolds is behind the line of scrimmage. So that's what makes him an eligible wide receiver for Taylor Decker. So that right there, you should know that I've been trying to say this for multiple times, but that's just the way it goes. We got more comments. Greetings from Arlington. Yes. Not a great night in Arlington for the Lions fans, but it should be great. Honestly, man, defense got Cam Sutton beat a lot. He normally doesn't get cooked like that. You know, the one thing I'm gonna know about Cam Sutton, and I know we've been talking about a lot about the call, but one thing I know about Cam Sutton is earlier in the year he was having a really rough start. I think his quarterback rating against was like around 100, and I think his completion percentage against was around 70%. So he was having a rough transition to becoming the Lions cornerback. I think that a lot of people talk about Aaron Glenn. They say, okay, Aaron Glenn is messing us up, but you got to think about this in perspective. I don't think the Lions expected Cam Sutton to be the number one corner. I thought they expected Emmanuel Moseley to be the number two corner, and then Emmanuel Moseley gets hurt in his first action back. You got Chauncey Gardner-Johnson and James Houston that get hurt. It just hasn't been. And I feel like they're getting healthy at the right time. So that's a good point. Cam Sutton got cooked in man-to-man. Brian Branch looked great. Can't believe AG let that mismatch continue with Sutton. Yeah, you know, that was one of the things I kind of was I just didn't understand was what was Aaron Glenn thinking letting Cam Sutton be on CD Lamb the whole time. I just don't know that. Grady with another this guy's great. I knocked on my girlfriend in college after I joined the Coast Guard and was stationed in Port Huron for 2 years, born in Grand Haven. Oh, he's a Michigan kid. Oh, even better. Even better. Now, Port Huron's amazing. My girlfriend's family owns an ice cream place in Croswell called the Frosted Freeze. If you are up in Croswell, you got to go there. I'm just saying. Just think if Campbell kicked that field goal earlier in the game, we would be going for early in the game instead of going for it, we would win by 2. Well, that's a true point, and I think that's a point that we look at. But if we look at it, there's a lot of things that can vary up to that. You know, if they kick the field goal there, does anything happen along the lines where that field goal doesn't matter? That's something you got to weigh in there too. I lived in Mansfield, Ohio. Just one state happened in a while ago. We have swag like Detroit, and I believe we got this. I hope we do too. I think the Lions tonight showed that they're a legitimate team. I think that's what they showed. Holding the Cowboys to 20 points when they average 40 points at home is pretty impressive. I'm gonna say that for now. And Justin Allen says this. Another controversial take. People say Campbell should have kicked after the first call, definitely after the second call. My take, we're a playoff team. They're a playoff team. Treat it like a game, and I support it. I love the aggressiveness. See, that's where I stand right there. That's where I stand right there. Feed just. Oh my god. All right, we're good. The feed kind of it got stupid. My feed. This is so stupid, but yeah, I agree with you. The aggressiveness that they had was. I think you have to take it like a playoff game, and they did, and I felt like this. It just shouldn't have happened like that, you know. And I think that, like I said earlier, the aggressiveness to go for the win. Maybe if you get that 2-point conversion, it puts a little bit of pressure on Dak Prescott. And I feel like if you put pressure on Dak Prescott to win a game, I feel like he will eventually fold. So that's what I look at. So Grady says, I'm just a rancher. I have another horse to come out sometime, but I'll be taking you on a fish. Oh, I'm down. Look, go on my Facebook. It's Joe Chap. It's on Facebook. I actually my personal Facebook post on this page. So go on there and set friend request me. We're cool, dude. We are cool. I love the guy. This guy's great. Also, our defense was awesome. Kick, field goal, tie it up, and let's see what happens. See, I love the aggressiveness. I did. So I'm not gonna get mad at it, but yeah. This is just amazing. Yeah. So look, we've been doing this for an hour and 15 minutes. It's almost 3 o'clock on this side of in Michigan right now. But look, I appreciate every one of you guys. I do. I appreciate every one of you guys for watching. I appreciate every one of you for listening. Your commentary has been great. We do podcasts every Tuesday or Wednesday. We'll let you know. But this has been a great because I love the conversation. I love having conversation with all these guys. And usually we've done these live streams earlier because we love the commentary on the podcast. And if you haven't followed our podcast, it's Detroit Lions podcast on Spotify and Apple and wherever you get your podcast. So there you go. But before I leave, I'm just gonna say this: for all the goals that Detroit has are still in front of them. So that's a good thing. Also, the good part about it is you're still gonna get a home playoff game. And thank God you didn't lose anything meaningful off this game. But we're gonna be talking about this for a pretty long time about the way that this went down. So thank you guys for watching. I appreciate all of you. Thank you for liking my page. Obviously, I have we have 3 people listening on YouTube, 1 person on my X, 1 person in the group, and then 41 people on Detroit Lions News podcast. Now 44. But thank you guys for watching. Roy, thank you for always being in the commentary. I love it, man. Look, I appreciate every one of you guys for just the comments. It makes my job easier, especially when I don't have a co-host. When Tyler left, it makes it easier. And yeah, this is gonna help all of us. Like, this was a horrible game, horrible way to lose. And the fact of the matter is this: the Lions are still gonna be the playoffs. They're still gonna get a home playoff game. And I want so badly to play the Dallas Cowboys in Ford Field. I hope the Eagles win the NFC East. I have never said I hope the Eagles win the NFC East, but I hope they do because I want Dallas to come to Detroit and get their ass kicked like they should have got in Dallas. Because we let them off the hook. We let Dallas off the hook multiple times in a game. It didn't matter what happened. We let them off the hook. We should have won that game. There was points in that game where I thought, man, if they would have just made the simple shit happen, they win that game going away. I was not happy with Ben Johnson's play call in the red zone. I was not happy with some of the play calls in general. Thought they could have been a lot better. But here's the thing: the Lions are going to get a home playoff game. They're going to get maybe Stafford, maybe Seattle back here, and then they get a round 2, and hopefully it's Dallas. And I would love nothing more to beat them in the playoffs and go to the NFC Championship game. Maybe play in a 49ers team. Like, we're a year ahead of schedule, so I'm very happy about that. But thank you guys for watching. We will see you in the next podcast. I'll see you in the next live stream. Have a happy new year. I hope every one of you has a great start to 2024, and we'll talk to you in 2024 as we talk more Lions football on the Detroit Lions News podcast. Thank you for watching, and we will see you again. And I hope every one of you has a great new year. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time on the Detroit Lions News podcast.